February 14th, 2018. I'd like to call this evening's City Council meeting to order. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we get a gold medal?
Joe. Can I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Ball.
Here.
Councilmember Stimmel. Councilmember Williams.
Present.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Here.
Councilmember Cerveny.
Here.
Mayor Gordon.
Here. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. If there are no requests for any items to be removed, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
A second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I do have just a couple of comments this evening for the mayor's report. First of all, I'd just like to remind everybody that the city offices will be closed Monday, February 19th for President's Day holiday. And then also the city council will be having a joint meeting with the planning commission this coming Tuesday, February 20th, starting at 6 p.m. and it will be at the Public Works office. And the purpose of the meeting is to discuss the Transportation Capital Facilities Plan. So there'll be a joint meeting with the Planning Commission.
Will there be stuff sent out to us ahead of time for that?
I'm sorry?
Will we get any packets or any information sent to us? Prior to that meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, you will.
Okay.
We have a draft CFP, and
I just want to make note
if
of
you didn't
what...
get it today, you get it soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we should be looking for it. Thank you.
And then the next item I'd like to just mention is that in the consent agenda this evening, the council did approve the appointment of Jeremy Smith to the Planning Commission. As everybody knows, Doug retired from the Planning Commission this last year, so Jeremy has been an alternate on the Planning Commission for the last few years, and he will be replacing Doug. So we'll have one remaining alternate on the Planning Commission. So at next month, when we send out the sewer bills, there will be a notice for people to apply to the Planning Commission. So if anybody's interested, next month we'll start taking applications for that. It will be for an alternate position on the Planning Commission. We're also going to be advertising for a open seat on the Civil Service Commission as well. So we'll be looking for those in your sewer bill, and we will be advertising in other places as well. That's all I really have for this evening. Our city attorney is not here this evening, Mr. Cairns, but in the packet, the council members did get an update, and I'm just going to read this. Included in the packet is a copy of the appeal file challenging the Growth Management Hearing Board's compliance order. Per Mr. Cairns, the plan is to get the appeal consolidated with other appeals of underlying GMHB Growth Management Hearing Board order that is currently pending at the Court of Appeals. So you did get that in your packets, and again, we'll be addressing it at our next meeting. So that's all I have this evening, Council. Next on the agenda is council comments. Councilmember Balf.
I don't have anything this evening, Mayor.
Councilmember Stimmel.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Williams.
Thanks, Mayor. I don't have much of a voice, but just glad that the public got out and voted for our school bond. I think that's a great thing for our community, get that school done, we need it. And I'm glad that, and it was an overwhelming majority, 2-1 on that one. So compared to the other ones in the county, I think the center turned out and really voiced their opinions. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Two reports. Went to the Port District meeting this afternoon. They go out to bid for their overpass that goes over their land next month. So that was the big thing that happened there. And then also, they've already started planning for the next big paddle. And we were going to have some people from La Center participate in that, maybe even take some rigs from here. So if you guys are out and about and you know anybody that's doing kayaking, the meetings have started for this year's event, and we need a couple of volunteers to help us put together something from here, because we'd like to make it an event like some of our other events have been in the historical past. So if you have kayaks or you want to be on a committee, they're having their meetings. I can get that information to you. So if you can get back to me, and we'll start having some meetings here in La Center if we get the interest.
Can we include that in the newsletter?
Yeah, we can. Absolutely. Did they set a date for that?
They didn't give me the date. They were
Okay.
just saying that we start our meetings, are you going to start coming to our meetings? And I
Okay.
said, well, I'll see if I can find somebody to start attending those, because we do want to, we've talked about this for a couple of years now, having a contingent go from here and meet them down there at the end of their Lake River.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that'd be a nice thing to have over the years, and hopefully make it grow and grow. That will be one of our tourist events, I hope, in the future. So the second issue is C-Tran report. Big meeting yesterday, and basically they funded a big design study, so they've determined because of ridership that Mill Plain will be the next C-Tran major development like they did down on Fourth Plain.
The Vine?
Yeah, the Vine, it'll be one like that. They're going to put it for, $50 million or something through the federal government for that. And then supposedly, if we get our ridership up out here, then 99 coming all the way out here to the center will be, it's in the plan, but we got to get more ridership. So right now, we don't have, well, we have like next to nothing
Next to
right now,
nothing.
so, most everybody drives that car across that bridge and they don't pick up the bus. So I don't know what we got to do to increase the ridership out here. I suppose we should probably start getting involved in that if we expect to get them to come and make a big loop here through Ridgefield.
Did they give you any numbers, what they're looking for from the center?
No, I don't, but I will get some. Right now, like I said, we're on the 20-year plan, but it might take us that long to get that kind of ridership. So
But that's good, though, that we're on the, thanks to,
Just as a survey and see what people want, using one of the survey engines that are out there we've used. I mean, part of the lack of ridership could be due to the schedule.
oh yeah, no doubt.
When my boys were volunteering at OMSI, it was a 3-hour ride for them if they took the bus because of the delays.
Yeah. And that's another thing that we've talked about with C-Tran is trying to get us a fixed route out here. Before we get the major, they need a major alternative route in case there's an accident on I-5. So we proposed that old I-99 should be restored, and then buses coming out that, making a loop here, going back through Ridgefield and on back to town. So, but in the interim, we are still pushing for a fixed route to come out here instead of just the once a day or twice a day that we have now. So anyway, those are on the agenda. What else? Oh, they did upgrade their software. They're spending $500K on a new software system. Theirs is about 30 or 40 years old and pretty dysfunctional, I guess. So they did spend another $500K for a new system, entire system for the whole. It runs all the IT in their organization, and the new director is familiar with the system that they bought. So I think they'll implement it.
Have they determined if it's worth running the buses, or if they'd be better off with an Uber type call-up where somebody comes and picks somebody up because of the low volume?
Well, and I have visited with our group before about that. We do have, it's in the budget right now that they're going to do a pickup, an Uber pickup out here. And it's the budget's there, but they haven't implemented the program yet. But so people from out here will be able to call Uber if they're in a contingent area around us, and then that'll get them to the bus location at the school or wherever they pick it up at. So that's a possibility. We have the money funded for that, for a trial program to get people that are, say, limited access or whatever, get them from their home to the bus route.
Would the
So
Would that be
city
the
need
bus
an
here or
agreement
down in
then?
Vancouver?
it'd be here.
I'm sorry?
Or could they go all the way, if they want to go to Freddy's?
Well, those details haven't been worked out yet,
Well,
but
I mean, I think a lot of the lack of ridership probably has to do with the fact that the schedule is real flexible.
well, and for, again, sorry for background, but it's like $39 a ride right now is what it's costing them to provide service out here, $39 a ride. So we think that the Uber would be far, even if we did do Uber on a trial basis until we get riderships out. And apparently it's going to have to take a lot of advertising and, informational stuff, whatever. But so anyway, that's my C-Tran report.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cerveny.
I too would like to thank everyone for their continued strong support and vote for the school. It's a major factor in the community, always has been, and it's just great to see everyone rally. The food bank is having a wonderful 50% cashback lunch and dinner event at Warehouse 23 on President's Day. So hope to see some familiar faces come and enjoy the day on the wharf. And the food bank will benefit from your wonderful meal. So that's about all I've got to report. It's great to see longer daylight hours coming our way. So I think that will continue to be enjoyable as spring approaches. But thanks for everyone for coming.
Thank you. So next on the agenda, we have staff reports. This evening, we will have 2 staff reports. The first one by Chief Denny.
Mayor, Council, Chief Denny, the Center Police Department, citizens. Really don't have much for you tonight. There's our 2017 annual report. If you haven't got a copy, there's one up there on the flyer board. I'm not going to go through it in any detail. It's a lot of reading, but it basically covers kind of our year in a summary format for everyone to review. I just appreciate everyone's support. It's been a good year. It's been a difficult year with different challenges, but I think we're providing quality law enforcement services for this area, and we'll continue to do so. We have great officers. We're constantly training for significant events, and as you know, today was another significant event in Florida, tragedy. So those are the types of things that we all as a community need to be watchful for, mindful of, watching out for each other and the mentality of individuals. If you see anything strange or that needs to be reported, please report it. Hopefully we can offset some of these potential dangers by mitigating it through community support of one another. So basically that's all I have. Again, I'm not going to go through the report. It's there. It's online as well for your viewing. We had an award ceremony not too long ago, which went very well. 3 of our officers got awards for valor, for life-saving awards, and everything's going smoothly. So unless anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
And Chief Denny, I've got a question. I know on your monthly summaries, you tabulate calls and citations and violations and arrests and so forth. I don't know if you've had time to summarize that for 12 months, but how would you say the call activity was in 2017 versus the previous year? Or is that an unfair question to ask?
Well, call-wise, it's probably holding about the same, but we have a couple new officers, so proactive activity has gone way up as far as what they're doing out there for stops and those types of things. So as far as actual calls for service and us responding to calls that people call in, we're probably about where we were at last year.
Okay, thank you.
Could I ask,
Yep.
who did you report for you?
Who did the report for
Yeah,
you?
it's a nice format. I like it.
Yeah. Alice, our records clerk, puts this together. We did the information. She puts it together for us.
Well, she does a nice job.
Yeah.
We could probably use her talents in the rest of the city here.
Yeah. I'm sure she and the people want to do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Good report. Next one is Director Sarvis, Public Works.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, citizens. Roundabouts out to bid. Open bids on the 21st. Open house on the scheduled right now for March 20th at the community center, and we'll have 2 sessions on that day for public, informing the public of the construction, the timing, the detours, the kind of the whole gamut of what this construction is going to mean to the community and ask for their support and help and patience. We've been talking about our LED conversion. Most of the lights in Southview Heights are CPU or LUD lights, local utility district lights, so have been replacing those with the LEDs. The center was awarded a grant to replace ours, and we'll be out to bid this month with that. We're just waiting for some final paperwork from the state. So we'll be replacing ours, expect to save about $5,000 a year in cost and savings on electricity by switching those lights. It's about 205 lights, city lights. I do want to mention that the interchange had won a couple of awards, and I noted that in my report. First, the American Council of Engineering Companies in Oregon honored the I-5 La Center Interchange project with an Engineering Excellence Award for 2018. And in their magazine, they actually award La Center, they award the Mohegan Gaming Advisors. Kittleson Associates were the driving force and submitted the project, listing La Center Mohegan Gaming Advisors as the clients and owners. And then the other key consultants and participants are CH2M Hill, Lifescapes International, Olson Engineering, Swinnerton. They also won another, the casino project, won an award through the Engineering News Record, and that's quite prestigious. It's for the Alaska, Oregon, Washington regions, and it's kind of a 3-in-1 award. In the sports and entertainment category, it was for the $196 million development of the 356,000 square foot casino, wastewater treatment plant, and the La Center interchange. And then last but not least, the team on site, they had put on lots of lunches for the workers and encourage their workers to contribute towards the local school project. And so it isn't just these organizations that are paid, that participated, but they, Swinnerton, the Tribe, Mohegan Gaming Authority, Kittleson Associates, Freed Mutter Group, Parametrics, all worked with the school district and contributed to the school district by helping to raise $77,000 for an outdoor education program at La Center High School, and along with donating more than 300 hours of service, mentoring, and helping them through the permitting process and that sort of thing. So, and a lot of that $77,000 came from the workers on the site. I observed that. I mean, I know that. So, anyway, I thought that was great. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them. I just don't need to ramble on.
On the roundabout construction, are we planning on giving kind of advance information to the businesses along I-5 about the public information meeting and
Along
thing?
I-5, you said?
No, I.
The 4th Street
excuse me,
in the
I
area?
misspoke. 5th Street.
You know,
I-5 too, no. We're going for the big one.
yes, I know there's lots of interest from the local businesses. And
Just keep them
definitely
in the
we
loop.
should be doing the best we can to communicate what delays to expect, what changes to expect.
And just making sure that perhaps they have someone available to come to the meetings, the public information meetings on that date, so they can schedule that
That's a good
accordingly.
idea.
Put it up on the reading board too.
The non-existent reader.
Yeah, we're gonna very good. We're gonna build you.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks a lot.
I just
Oh,
will make a comment. There's been I'm sure everybody in here that's gone down Aspen has been across the explosion right in front of my house. Wham, wham! It's a manhole, apparently belonged to TDS. I called up Public Works. They were out there filming it today. So hopefully the noise abatement ordinance won't have to be implemented, because I think they fixed it.
they had worked on it previous, and they were right on it.
Yeah, they said it's sunken or something. And
I appreciate it as well.
anyway, it was nice. They were out there all day fixing it.
the elm tree?
Yeah, I saw the bottom.
So there's a tree on Aspen Avenue that's being, that we required the developer of Phase 2 to get an arborist and tell us the condition of that tree and make sure that tree was healthy and it's safe to stay and that sort of thing. And the arborist says, yes, it is. And the arborist also informed me that that's not an oak tree, that's an elm tree. And I always thought it was a big oak tree. And he says it's probably, they're pretty fast growing, so it probably was planted in the 30s somewhere, and it's probably one of the larger trees in the metro region in the right of way. So it's a pretty cool tree, but the branches are huge. They did trim it up, they lightened it up to load, and so we're hoping it does better.
They did cut that
And
down.
the same, they cut down the other one. Yeah.
Was that down also?
No, I don't think it was. I don't, it was a cherry or something. Anyway, it's just a big old tree and it is pretty cool.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go on, I would just like to recognize the Richfield City Council member Sandra Day has joined us here this evening for our meeting as well. So welcome, Sandra. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
Next on the agenda is citizens' public comment. If anyone would like to address the council, please step up to the podium, and if you give us your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
You didn't know I was going to.
I kind of thought you might, though.
Sandra Day, City of Ridgeville. Greetings, council, citizens. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm sending love from your neighbor to the west, Ridgeville, for this Valentine's Day. We have a lot in common. We both have a river that runs through near our cities, and we have a lot of the same development issues, and both cities love trails, parks, and open spaces, so I congratulate you on that. And I wanted to announce Big Paddle planning is underway now that you have your boat launch. We'd love to challenge you to a race over there, or at least a time start. You start from your boat launch, we measure off a point on Lake River, and we'll meet you at the confluence. So we've got lots of new things planned with interpretive guides on the Lake River, and we would love to try to work with you. The Morgan family at the confluence, we're talking with them about having an interpretive guide maybe at the end of that point, which might interest some of your paddlers. So we welcome anyone in the city that would like to participate, and of course, council, you're always welcome to come. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Sandra, could you please put us on your notice list on when your meetings are, because we'd like to get somebody down to your meetings.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
you come to the court meetings, but, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have those on meetings.
Very good, thank you. And it is a wonderful event. Councilmember Valenzuela and I attended it last year and actually the year before as well, and it's great. It's a great way to spend a day. So I would encourage everybody to enjoy it.
If you'd like, I have some interesting photos of the mayor that we can put online,
Anybody else like to address the council this evening? Okay, then we'll move along. Next is ordinances, resolutions, and public hearing. This evening, we do have one public hearing. It's ordinance 2018-04, repealing Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 15.05, Building Code and Specialty Codes, Section 15.05.030, adoption by reference of the Building Code and Specialty Codes as the La Center Building Code of the La Center Municipal Code, and adopting a revised and updated Section 15.05.030 of the La Center Municipal Code. A lot of codes.
That's a lot to thank the mayor and council members, citizens. That's a lot to say that we're talking about ordinance 2018-04, an ordinance adopting the latest edition of the state building and specialty codes. This is really a house cleaning item a housekeeping item that has been out there. We should have adopted it way back in 15. We didn't. We've been using it, following it. The building and specialty codes are established by the state of Washington, and they're about every 3 years, so you'll probably see one coming up again. And we just had some transition in services, and it just didn't happen. We're working with Woodland at the time, and so I can make a bunch of excuses, but I'm not going to. We've been following the law, it's been working. Just so you all are aware, we do contract with the city of Richfield for our building inspector services. It has been working very well. As you know, they're expecting to get very busy. We're expecting to get very busy, so we're having conversations today about what that means to both of us and how we can hopefully continue to work together. It's worked well. I think it's for the two small communities, in the good times and the bad times. So with that, if I can answer any questions regarding the building and specialty codes, I would be happy to. Other than there is no budget impact, by the way, with the adoption or approval of this. And when it's updated, I believe it'll probably be updated in 2018, July. We'll make sure that we bring that promptly to the council.
Housekeeping.
Yes, it's in there.
Yeah. No, just a comment. These code books are voluminous. And it takes specialists to interpret them. It really does. Every time there's an incident, either building or fire or whatever, then generally the whole body will meet back east and they'll come up with another set of regulations. And it's one of those things where, we just have to live with them. There's, we adopt them at a state level, and then we have to try to conform to them. And but they are voluminous. I used to hate going through them for every set of plans.
They are.
But it's one of those things we have to do.
The folks in Ridgefield are very competent, and they are doing a great job. So I'm glad to work with them.
Great.
Other than that,
Very good.
I guess it's a public hearing, so we can take some.
I'll open it up. Okay, thank you. So again, this is a public hearing, so at 6:57, I'll open it up for public comment. If anybody would like to address the council and talk about this housekeeping item, please step up to the podium and give us your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Rush on down.
Yeah.
Overwhelming.
Okay.
The crickets are talking.
Well, I will close the public hearing then at 6:58 and turn it back to the council if there's any discussion or comments, questions.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the adoption of ordinance 2018-04 and ordinance amending section 1 of ordinance 2013-05 Dallas Center Municipal Code 15.05 per Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by this reference.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2018-04. This is an ordinance, so if I get a roll call, please.
Councilmember Ball,
Yes.
Councilmember Stimmel,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Councilmember Valenzuela,
Aye.
Councilmember Servant.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Okay, thank you, council. Thank you, Director Sarvis. That's, glad we got that housekeeping item taken care of. So, that's all we have on the agenda this evening, folks. 7 o'clock, and we're finished with the meeting, and that's a good thing.
Happy
So now
Valentine's Day.
everybody can go home and enjoy their Valentine's Day, so
Move to adjourn.
thank you.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Meeting starts at 6:39.